good morning, time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live podcast. On this podcast, we talk about mindset, mindfulness, productivity, everything self-development. Happy New Year. I'm coming to you solo to kind of do a little goal reflecting, kind of walk you through what I do. So it's going to be a little solo episode. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and a wonderful New Year. I got Jessie as her big gift, one of those picture TVs. She's been asking for it for like 3 years. If you're not familiar, the TV actually looks like it's a picture hanging on your wall, and it has like I got it in like the same like teak wood trim, so like it's the border of the TV is like looks like it's a wood grain, and you can actually just have like a picture that's always up there, like Monet or a snowy scene, and it just like stays up there. So our TV is very present in our open concept living space, hence why she wanted it. But when she opened the box, the first thing she asked was if I paid for somebody to install it. I was very disappointed with that comment. And I am throwing this out there to see if Jessie actually listens to this episode, and then she can yell at me for throwing her on the under the bus for not being appreciative of the wonderful gift. And by the way, I installed it myself in like 15 minutes. Boom. Take that, Jessie. Anyway. All right, so I love the week between Christmas and New Year's. I think I said this on the last episode. I take time to reflect, time to really unpack, the previous year, start setting up my goals for the following year. And this is such an important practice. And it's not too late if you haven't done this yet to still do it at the beginning of January. As my time with Jesse Itzler beginning of January. I mean, he always says, operate your life with tremendous urgencies, with a tremendous urgency. So the best way to operate your life with tremendous urgency is to plan your life, actually be intentional with your time. You don't want to be I could have been a great father. I could have been an awesome runner. I could have started that business. And the only way we're going to not be an I coulda is to plan and reflect, and be truly accountable to our targets. So we're going to start with reflect and learn is step one, then brain dump, then we're going to pare it down, and then we're going to gamify. So those are kind of the 4 steps that I'm going to walk you through. So reflect and learn, brain dump, pare it down, then gamify. So reflect and learn. What I personally do is I take all my habit trackers for the entire year and I quantify them. So what do my numbers look like for the entire year? So I add up all the months to be like, okay, one of the things I was tracking last year was cold showers. How many cold showers did I? If my target was, 200, did I do 210 or did I do 175? So I go through and I quantify all of my habits. Then we have these handy dandy weekly review cards. I take all my weekly review cards and I read through them. And what I'm doing there is personally, I take an Evernote doc up. I've been doing this for years. So I have a little folder in there for all my goals. Like it's just a goals folder. So I'm putting in there what went well and what needs work, both personally and professionally. So personal life, all the things that went well, all like my wins for the year, I'm putting in there. And then what needs work? Where did I fall short? And a lot of times my habit tracker is going to tell me where I fell short. So that's what I'm doing in the reflecting stages. Yes, it's tedious to kind of read through 52 weeks of the year for all your reflection, but you're going to pull out little gems, little things that you forgot that you accomplished in that year. And it gives you this opportunity to step back and really learn. We're so anxious to jump into next year, jump into this fresh start. But the best way to learn about our life is through the data, is through what happened to us in the past and what can we improve upon in the future. So if you fell short in the health category of your life, why did you do that? Were you doing one part of were you working out all the time, but then just binge eating all the time? Those are the things that you're going to learn that but you're actually going to be able to reflect on during this portion of the process. So once you're done reflecting on all your habits, all your wins, all your needs works, now we're going to go to brain dump. So this is when we're getting to setting up 2023. So what I personally like to do is I like to take my gardens, and everybody's gardens of life can be different, or pillars of life, whatever you say. So health, love, finance, growth, business. So health, obviously health, nutrition, love, your relationship, your kids, your family, financial, your financial goals, you have for investing or for saving, personal growth, spiritual growth is kind of categorized in that garden. And then for me, I have a business section of things I want to accomplish in my business. So I take each one of those sections and I try to go 5 to 10 goals. I'm not a big believer in having a ton of goals, but when you stretch yourself to just not list 2 or 3, there's really some gems that come out, and there's little things that come out in that 5 to 10 that are really important that you might make a little habit around. And that's why it's important to really stretch for the 5 to 10. So after I kind of take all those 5 gardens and I'm putting 5 to 10 goals per garden, that's when I pare it down. So it's just like, all right, let me pull 2 to 3 goals from each one of those gardens of life. And once I pull those top 2 or 3, now it's time to go into step 4. Step 4 is gamify. So how can I make that quantitative? So I may have a goal of, I wrote something down here, being like more present and engaged father. Okay. That's just like an outcome goal, but that doesn't mean anything. At the end of the year, am I going to be proud of myself as being a more present, engaged father? I don't know. And even if I was, am I really going to know that? It's hard to tell. So I try to be super intentional and gamify that. So things that I'm tracking to achieve that goal is quarterly dates. I've been doing quarterly dates with my kids for a long time, and I want to continue that trend of quarterly dates. A thing that I implemented last year that worked really well that I want to continue to do this year is doing something spontaneous once a month with them, or even like them and Jessie. A lot of times I like to, just pop in early from work and have something planned for the kids and Jessie that we're going to go, to the park and have a picnic that day, or, we're going to go fishing or whatever it is. Just being spontaneous with them is something that I can track. And then if I'm tracking it, hey, I'm going to be intentional by planning it. And then one thing is intentional play. That's something I'm tracking too with my kids. And I had this acronym last year, which was ALP. It's ALPP, which is alter ego, which is I put this silicone ring on when I go home. It's like, all right, I'm turning into dad. I'm going from business Bryan to dad Bryan. And then L is for love. So I go in and I give them all hugs. P is phone away. And the last P is play. Well, when I got to that last P, like I'd go and sit with them for a few minutes or whatnot, but it wasn't truly playing with them. I'd usually just like unpack the day with Jessie or what have you. So now I'm tracking like 30-minute chunks of time of play with them and just being intentional with that. Yes, I shouldn't have to do that, but I know if I do it, then it's going to get done and I'm going to be on the ground with them, hanging out for an extended period of time, not 5-10 minutes, then getting up, actually kicking the soccer ball with Nash for 30 minutes or doing art with Hadley for 30 minutes. So that's something that I'm quantifying. So it went from more present, engaged father to, okay, here are 3 things: quarterly date, spontaneous once a month, and intentional play. So that's how I'm gamifying something like that. So I literally go through all the 5 gardens that I mentioned earlier, and I sit there and I create habits or things I'm going to track for each one of those gardens. And then the last thing that I like to do that I think is a little different is you don't want to create outcome goals, but I go into the health garden, or I go into, the financial garden, and I almost come up with like a little fun 2-3 words that describes that garden. So, for the kids, like I'm calling it like priceless garbage time. So Ryan Holiday talks about like garbage time being the best time. So it's like not like when you go on the Disney trip with your kids, but it's like the playing life on a Friday night and they're giggling and laughing. Like that's what he describes as garbage time. And priceless, like those are the priceless moments. Like, there's values to everything in your life, your car, your business, all those things. But the things that are priceless are those relationships. So, for the love category, like my like overall goal is priceless garbage time. For my wellness health category, I'm calling that light. Like that's my word of the year. But what inspires me in the health nutrition is the word light. So my goal for the year is light, but I know what light means. I know that light means all these other habits underneath of it, but it's like something that I can just turn to real quick and it's just like, all right, am I being light in my health? And as you guys may know, is I'm a big fan of rewriting your goals every week or at least once a month. We have the monthly goal cards, which forces you to rewrite them once every month, but I actually rewrite them every single week. So I'm rewriting the word light, priceless garbage time as I go down the list. I mean, I'm not writing out every single detail, but those things I know the big hitters in each category that I'm trying to accomplish. So that is how I do my goal planning. So again, reflect and learn, brain dump all your goals out, pare them down to the couple major or few that you really want to accomplish, and then gamify it by making habits that attach directly to those goals. I know that was a lot. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'd be happy to break down any additional information or any more details with you. But I think 2023 is going to be a fantastic year, especially if you're intentional and you track your goals. You will dominate the year. I promise you that. Have a fantastic week. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
We are all